Once you complete the Legionfall Campaign quest known as Vengeance Point, Archmage Khadgar will offer a quest known as Altar of the Aegis that takes place within the Cathedral of Eternal Night. This dungeon, found in the Broken Shore, can be completed on Heroic or Mythic difficulty. During the Agronox boss fight, there are two types of enemies that can be spawned. One of these enemies is known as a Succulent Lasher, and when it dies it would drop toxic sap on the ground that deals heavy damage and reduces movement speed. The others are known as Fulminating Lashers, and they explode on impact with their target. Bring these adds down quick, avoid the toxic sap left by Succulent Lashers, and defeat Fulminating Lashers before they reach their target to make this fight smoother. The boss known as Thrashbite the Scornful will jump to the center of his spawn room once you defeat the floating eye known as Gazerax. Try to move as far away as possible from this boss when he uses the move Pulverizing Cudgel. When he uses the ability Heave Cudgel, stay within the center of the room, as his weapon will circle around the outer perimeter. If you are targeted by the Scornful Gaze ability, head to the other side of a bookshelf so that he charges towards you, crashing into the bookshelf and stunning him. When you are ready to fight Domitrax, right-click the Aegis of Agrimar. This boss will summon portals that summon extra demons that the DPS should take care of. When he casts Chaotic Energy, stand near the Aegis of Agrimar in the center of the room to reduce the amount of damage you take. This boss should also be tanked while facing away from other players and the Aegis of Agrimar, as the ability known as Fellsoul Cleave will damage all players in front of him and will eliminate the Aegis' ability to block if hit. At 25% health, this enemy will also become frenzied, increasing the rate at which he attacks. For the final boss fight with Mephistroth, you might want to turn your graphics options up, otherwise you may not be able to see the shadow orbs that will be important later in this fight. If you are targeted with the ability Demonic Upheaval, move away from your allies. Mephistroth should also be tanked facing away from your group, as he will use an ability known as Carrion Swarm that deals damage in front of him. At low health, he will use an ability known as Shadow Fade, where he becomes invisible and shadows of Mephistroth will spawn around the room. Your DPS should be defeating these shadows of Mephistroth, while the tank, holding the Aegis of Agrimar, should block Illidan Stormrage in the center of the room from the shadow orbs being casted by those shadows of Mephistroth. During this stage of the fight, players will receive a debuff known as Creeping Shadows, which deals increasingly high damage over time as stacks build up. Eventually, Mephistroth will return to his regular form and can be attacked again. Upon his defeat, this quest will be marked as complete. Return to Archmage Khadgar and Deliverance Point to turn in this quest. Should you not like any of the artifact relic options, you can always change your specialization to receive different options for your other weapons.